So this next demo is just going to be very straightforward. It's going to be how to download photographs using the downloader in Adobe Bridge. So downloading photographs from your camera. So first we'll go ahead and open up Adobe Bridge. Once we've done that, it'll just go automatically to the last place we were, which again, in this case, it's the computer, desktop, tutorials folder, and then the download demo. So there's two ways of accessing the downloader. You can go up to the file right here, click on that, and then say get photos from camera here. Or there's this little icon, which is basically a camera with a little plus on it. It says get photos from camera when you hover over it. If you just go ahead and click on that, it'll open up the downloader. So if your memory card doesn't automatically show up right here, the card may not, we can go ahead and say refresh list if nothing shows up. So, but this is the one right here, this Leary 2025. So there's just a truly random little selection of snaps in here, just for demo purposes. So this is how it will open up. What I like about this is you have some options in determining where things go. So the location is going to be automatically the last place or the default place that was chosen. So I want to choose a different location. So generally I'm going to choose to put things in my desktop first, right? And from there I'll move them into other locations. So on the side over here, it'll show you all the recent places that you were. You can also at this place, I'm going to select desktop, I'm going to open up tutorials, and then I'm going to go into this one right here, which is download demo. So that's where things are going to go. I'm going to go ahead and open that, and now this changed up here, the location changed, and now it's going to be in this folder. I hate subfolders. I have just, at this point, they're so cumbersome. One of the nice things about using Bridge is you don't really have to use subfolders. So I'm going to make sure that's on none. And I want to rename the files. So this isn't going to help me much. Being DSC09858, that's not giving me any information that's useful. So I'm going to do a shot date that's custom name that comes after shot date. Now it's incredibly important to have your shot date year, month, day. The reason being is you're going to be archiving these in folders. The more images you start to shoot, the more images you start to acquire, the more important it's going to be that you have a really good system for storing your photographs, that you can search them easily and find them easily. So I find storing them by date time to be the most effective, right? And you want to start year first. You don't want to have every image you shot on January of every year, January 2nd, showing up first. So year, month, day is the way to most easily organize this. So that's by shot date plus custom name. So under custom name, these are just a couple little quick shots for a demo. I'm going to say demo there, and then it shows you the example of what it's going to look like. So 2025-09-30, demo, and then this is, just a sequential number. There's only a few things in this folder, so I'll just probably start at 1. And that's going to give you the best shot at being able to find these later. And you want to just go ahead and do these now. Now, as a downloader, automatically it's going to be all of the images in this are going to be checked. Now, if you've already downloaded a bunch of images on this card, you don't want to have to re-download them all again. That's going to, have duplications of your files. It's going to create, it's going to be unnecessarily complicated for you to look through them. So my workflow generally is that every single time I download photographs from my memory card onto my computer, I make sure they're downloaded correctly, and then I'll go back and I'll format my card by the parent camera. Just get in the habit of doing this. It's going to make things a lot easier. The cards aren't also very healthy. If you keep images on them for months or years at a time, you definitely run the risk of having corrupted files. So if there's, say you downloaded one already in here, or a whole bunch, maybe from this point on were already downloaded, I'll uncheck all, and then I'll navigate to where I know that they're all new files, and then I'll just go ahead and scroll up. Then when I click on one, it will click on all of those and not click on the one that I had previously. So say you had 100 photographs below that point that you already downloaded and you knew that they downloaded correctly. You don't want to re-download them, so that way you can just do it this way. Okay, so this is going in here. It's going in that location. I'm going to go ahead and kind of just check through all the rest of the stuff here. So we went over metadata templates in here. If you have one that you want to use, just go ahead and click that in there. We went over how to create one. So maybe these are just some images you have for education purposes or something. You don't want to have all your contact information on there. You should have just a basic one that just maybe has your name and a website or your name and an email, something so if somebody comes across it they can contact you, but doesn't have everything in there like your address. So you should create a few of these templates. You can apply them at this point if you want to, and that's going to, give you some options. You can also save copies to something else at this point if you wanted to. So not necessary at this point. I prefer to do that later. Don't do the delete original files here. You're going to want to do this instead by formatting the card. Also, these are RAW files. They are Sony files. I can see because of the .arw at the end. That's Sony's version of RAW files. So you could convert them to something like DNG. At this point, don't do that. You're going to want to do that through Adobe Camera Raw instead. Right, that's going to be the option. Okay, so it's this really basic panel under the standard dialog right here. That might be what it first comes up at. You have a lot of the same options. Again, get photos from. This shows you where you're downloading them to. You have the option of doing subfolders or not. Because this is already in a folder, I'll just do one for this. Right? Normally, if you're downloading into something, you've already created a folder, you don't have to do this. But I'm going to go ahead and do this one, which is, I'll have it by shot date. So it's in a folder all by shot date, right? And then I can, on top of that, do the custom name, which is demo. I like to have there be a correlation between the labeling of the photographs in the folder and the folder itself. That way, if something happens and you've moved things around, you can kind of go ahead and move them into the same one. Right? That's going to be a little bit easier. So again, this is shot date plus custom name. I can see they were shot in 2025, 9/30, and this is, demo, and it gives me a sequential number. So you can rename the files here. This is the subfolder right here. That's fine. So shot date plus custom name. That's fine. Year, month, day. That's going to be basically how that is going to work out for you. And you can rename the folder later, but that's going to give you something that's broken down by date if you so choose. Okay, so under choose here, I'm going to go ahead and say new folder, and this is 2025. This was shot 09/30, and then I'm going to say demo, right? That way there's again a correlation to what's happening there. So this is my demo folder and what's happening here. Now, if you don't want these organized within this folder, you can just go ahead and say none, right? Say they were all shot at the same time, or say you don't want them organized or separated by the different dates or different projects you were shooting. You don't have to have a subfolder there at all. So now you're confident it's going to the right place. It's going to be in the demo folder. Not just going to be loose in there. They're going to be all together in one folder, separated from anything else that you have in there. So when I'm done there, I'll go ahead and say get media, and it's just going to download these photographs one at a time. So if you're downloading thousands of photographs, this is going to take a little while. You might want to give it a minute before you go down and look at them. Go get coffee or something. So new window in Bridge opens in the secondary window and does not support floating panels. Say don't blow again, say okay. All right, so now these opened up in Bridge. And now I can see I didn't add any data to this, so there's going to be nothing under IPTC Core. If I had done one of those templates, it would have shown up right there. But this just shows you the basic information about this now that these are in Bridge. You can see where they are. You can see they're in the download demo. Here it is. This one gave me 2025 09/30 demo, and that again has a correlation to what we're looking at here. So yeah, pretty basic. So when you download images, they're going to be a lot less risk of corrupted files if you're using a downloader to do that. In general, this is going to be a better way of working. You have a better chance at organizing your files. You're not going to run the risk as much of having duplicated files, and you can create an organizational system that's going to work much better for you. That way, when you go back to look for files later, the images are each labeled, the folder is labeled, you'll have a much better time finding them, organizing them, etc. So hopefully this helps you kind of start using a downloader as part of your work process.